Please enjoy the following presentation to deepen your understanding about self-responsibility and love along your wellness journey. You are responsible for your own health and well-being. Sometimes it's easy to listen to what we've always known when we're thinking about making important decisions. Maybe it's our teachers, maybe it's parents, maybe it's politicians, maybe it's doctors. And not to say that any of those people are wrong, but we shouldn't necessarily accept that someone else knows what is best for us. We want to look inside ourselves rather than looking to others to find solutions to our questions and our problems. Experts are definitely necessary in all aspects of life, but we want to maintain our own sense of responsibility and not necessarily shift the responsibility completely to experts. When we're able to take charge of our own life, that means recognizes that we have choices, we have opinions that matter, and we're able to carry with it our willingness to live with the consequences of those choices. Your personal well-being is interdependent with that of the planet. The more we express consciousness and accountability in our own lives, the more we will see and enjoy our interdependence with one another. Beyond participating in our local community, the awareness that planet Earth is a finite entity can strengthen our willingness to conserve resources and energy. About 20% of the world's population uses 80% of the planet's resources, much of it very wastefully. We can consider the iceberg model of health as well. Our personal state of health is really only the tip of the iceberg. We have to look at the causes below the surface to truly understand our state of well-being. Wellness is not merely the absence of disease. Most illnesses in the United States result from lifestyle choices. We have to consider those choices. We have to think of our wellness as a process, a way of life, and an integration of our mind, body, and spirit. We can get involved with the well-being of our environment in many ways. We can get to know our neighbors and help them when it's needed. It's common to not help people because we assume that someone else will help. This is called the diffusion of responsibility. We can get out and vote. Even a single vote can make a difference in our local community. And once again, becoming aware of the Earth's finite resources and taking care of our planet. As we take this self-responsibility, this gives us the power for change and for growth. We learn that almost every individual choice we make is a choice for the rest of humanity as well as ourselves. You have the ability to change your lifestyle and your environment. Throughout the course of our life, we may be faced with a crippling disease or another life challenge, but we can view these events as an opportunity to reevaluate our lifestyle and our environment. We can use these personal experiences as tools for self-exploration, for education, and for growth. If we take the road towards high-level wellness, reinforced with self-compassion and love, that will encourage continuing success throughout our lives. It is okay to be out of balance, vulnerable, or in need. It is okay to be just as you are, a glorious series of contradictions. Our culture emphasizes interdependence and self-sufficiency, often overlooking the reality of our own interdependence. We can practice becoming part of the great give and take, to practice receiving graciously rather than appearing to have no needs. When we give more than we receive or receive more than we give, the balance of life is upset. If we strive to work towards this balance of giving and receiving, of working with our community, with our friends, with our families, it's possible to discover well-being in the midst of a serious disease or a chronic illness when we can turn to others for support and when we can support others in their own needs. It's important to recognize the difference between self-responsibility and blame. We waste much of our valuable energy in life by burdening ourselves with guilt and blame, thinking, I should have done this, I shouldn't have said that. Often this is used in our culture to manipulate people, to control people, even when they're young and small. Taking responsibility for choices that may have resulted in an illness or an injury does not necessarily mean taking on blame. There's a big difference in this. When we take responsibility for a problem, we're able to accept that while we may not have intentionally engineered this present situation in our lives, we are able and responsible to control how we respond to the situation. Love yourself, other people, and the planet. To love yourself is to love your body, your emotions, your intelligence, your spiritual nature. It is to trust, accept, understand, and forgive yourself. The challenge is to remember that love is all around you and to open yourself to receive it. Love is not out there waiting to be found. It is within you wanting to be recognized. All things in the universe are connected. All things in the body are connected as well. The more we express consciousness and accountability in our own lives, the more we will see and enjoy our interdependence with one another. There is simply no place where the body starts and the mind stops, no place where the universe stops and the individual starts. We can view our daily decisions in the light of our awakening sense of responsibility, knowing that every individual choice we make is a choice for the rest of humanity as well. It is important to assert your rights as a consumer in the medical economy, to know your body, and to recognize when issues may arise. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, college students can easily feel anxious trying to balance school, work, friends, family, and decisions that will affect the rest of their lives. Anxiety disorders are one of the most common mental health problems across college campuses. 40 million adults in the United States suffer from an anxiety disorder, and 75% of those adults have had their first bout of anxiety by the age of 22. 30% of college students report that stress has negatively affected their academic performance. 41.6% of college students state that stress is their primary concern. 85% of college students report feeling overwhelmed at some point during the year. Practicing meditation is a very effective tool to reduce stress and anxiety. According to reports, there have been over 1,500 separate studies since 1930 related to meditation and its effect on the practitioners. Some statistics on people who meditate include results such as effects on heart rate, respiration, blood pressure, and oxygen consumption, all decreasing. Meditators are less anxious and nervous. Meditators are more independent and self-confident. People who meditated daily are less fearful of death. 75% of insomniacs who start a daily meditation program were able to fall asleep within 20 minutes of going to bed. Production of the stress hormone cortisol is greatly decreased, making it possible for people to deal with stress better when it does occur. 60% of anxiety-prone people show marked improvements in their anxiety after 6 to 9 months of meditation. There are many easy ways to incorporate meditation and general self-care practices into our daily routines. You can try a metta meditation, such as the one following this PowerPoint presentation. You can try journaling, writing down experiences, insights, things you are grateful for, or just things that inspire you. Try a digital detox. Start putting down your devices for half a day, maybe a full day, or maybe an entire weekend where you can completely unplug from technology. Try exercising. Chronic and excessive sedentary work can encourage obesity, cigarette smoking, and other addictions, including depression and anxiety. It's important to get out and move, especially when we spend time in nature, enjoying sunshine, fresh air, maybe a walk on the beach. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Even the loss of 2 hours of sleep can have a major impact including reduced alertness, poor memory, and reduced concentration. When we're working on our sleep hygiene, try to find a cool, dark, comfortable environment, avoid caffeine for 6 to 7 hours before bed, and be sure you've participated in regular physical activity throughout the day or the week. Try some self-care practices and meditation daily for 1 week and notice any changes in your stress and anxiety levels. And of course, know that support is always available on campus through the UNCW Counseling Center.